Okay, so we will see if we can get him or not. Ed Hale Jr. along with Tyrone Keys, cast of thousands, all joining us after the 7 o'clock news. Let me sum it up this way. Party unity. See, I thought when I was running for office, there would never be a point in my life where I would have more breakfasts, coffees, lunches, and dinners. Ed Hale Jr. will appreciate this. He's running for Baltimore County Council 3rd District. Lots of meals when you're running. There's lots of meetings that you have to take.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to eat too much, or else you'll end up gaining 20 pounds.
I had more meetings this past week after the ruling that came down for me not to be able to run, or my name being taken off the ballot to run for state senate in Maryland's 42nd district. And everybody wanted the same thing. They wanted party unity. Now, normally look, you're fighting within your own family when you're fighting for a primary, and then you get out of the primary and everybody unifies behind the same message, and you put all the family business aside. Party unity. And I'm looking at what was in the news locally here over the last week on the gun bills, on this press release from the governor's office, on the Hogan administration. The Hogan administration urges the EPA to drop the plan to weaken vehicle air pollution emissions standards. This was under the Obama administration. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a very simple question. What do we stand for? I'll be more than happy to unify behind something, but I have to know what that is. Now, there may be a lot of people within the Republican Party that are not going to like this segment, and I am not talking out of school. I'm trying to be helpful here. What do we stand for? Why did the room get so quiet all of a sudden?
I'm waiting for the punchline.
There is no punchline. What do we stand for? This is not sour grapes, ladies and gentlemen. When I decided to run for State Senator Jim Brochen's old seat, I ran on some very basic principles. Conservatism, individual liberty, religious liberty, property rights, pro-Second Amendment. Where do we stand? You know, it's funny, and this is going back over the last 2 years. I have called Governor Larry Hogan a rock star on my program. At my old station, at this station, and do you know who loses their mind? Not the Democrats, the Republicans. There is frustration and there is anger within the party right now. Governor Hogan has a real chance to lose his second term. Not because he's going to get primaried, of course not. Who supports the governor? It's not the base. I'm just being real, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the base. The base is frustrated that he has not gone far enough. And then we have 3 separate bills that are coming out of the Senate right now that are draconian legislation when it comes to the Second Amendment. This is what you're running on right now?
But when you've got a president or a governor who is term limited, and you know, history has shown that first term, you always kind of play right down the center.
No. Ed, no.
You start off hard, and then you come back around to the center.
Right.
And then your second term, if you get reelected, these guys then try to put forth
great point.
But
hold on a second. No. We're going to stay with that for a second. Great point. Then you don't need to do 3 separate pieces of legislation right now when it comes to gun bills. Then you go ahead and you shelve it. And you go, now's not the time to have this debate. Okay? If that's the way we're going to travel on it, and I hear you. I do. And now I'll come back to Delegate Chris West, okay, who, files this little cowardly lawsuit against me, okay, and gets me out of the race. Now, this is not sour grapes. I am strictly looking at this from a political aspect. Chris West has prided himself on being a slight left moderate. Now he'll go, look, I got a great reputation in the business community. As a Republican in Maryland, what the hell have you done for the business community? Have you seen the businesses that are going out of business in the 42nd? Go ahead and be a liberal right now. You're fighting for a general election. If that's what you're going to be on your own website, you're saying, look, I reach across the aisle. I got a good relationship with Michael Bush. Okay, then go ahead and play on that. There is no reason right now that we should be pushing, I'm talking about the governor now, gun legislation through in this General Assembly.
If the governor does not, now I get what you're saying in terms of, being more assertive in the second term if you get one.
Right.
Okay. But I got to say, if he doesn't come out and attack the meaningless legislation that O'Malley pushed, his so-called assault weapons ban, that's what I'm expecting of Hogan in the second term. But to your
He's
point,
doubling down on it, Tyrone. I don't mean to cut you guys off. He's doubling down on it. We have 3 separate pieces of legislation that the governor has green-lighted. He's doubling down on it.
Well, you also got Kipke, who a lot of Republicans
I
got
love
right behind
Kipke.
that.
So Kipke, a perfect example, has a AAA rating with the NRA, is saying that this bump stock thing has nothing to do with gun violence. It's not going to curb gun violence. It's nothing to do with anything. But we'll go ahead and we'll pass it because it's an olive branch. It's a sign of goodwill. To what end?
Right. There can be, look, okay, Republicans need to get this through their head once and for all. Okay, they need to get over their Stockholm syndrome. There can be no compromise with the party that is represented by the left today, the Democrats. Okay, because this is not Tip O'Neill's party. This is not JFK's party. This is a band of lunatics who are not into compromising with the right at all. So I'm not sure why Republicans
and this is why,
can't take that lesson.
And this is why Governor Hogan is not going to have a second term. He's playing to the slight left, assuming that they are going to be there for him. And now you look at him coming out and, he has a vitriolic hatred against Donald Trump. I get it. You boycott the convention on election day. You say you're going to vote for your daddy. You come out, you double down on Martin O'Malley's draconian EPA regulations. You're missing the mark, Governor. And I love you. I'm saying this out of love. And it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity for J.B. Jennings and Kathy Szeliga and Governor Larry Hogan. I'm telling you, okay? This is missing the mark, Governor. Unfortunately, the majority of Marylanders are not riding around in Tahoes driven by the state police. Okay, we have to take our cars to get the EPA emissions test, which is an absolute joke. And everybody knows it. You're doubling down on the Obama administration. Where are you at immigration? You can say what you will about Donald Trump. He's moving forward on campaign promises. You look at the assault right now on property rights in Baltimore County. You're going to have a Republican governor. You mark my words on this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not wishing for it. I'm just being honest. You're going to have a Republican governor that's polling in the 60s right now on approval rating that is going to end up losing a second term. You're going to have Delegate Chris West. The Senate seat currently held by State Senator Jim Brochin was the forget about it lock of the week. As far as that flipping from Democrat to Republican, he's already screwed that whole thing up. I have people from, I'm not going to name the camp, okay, Democrats that want to use that whole court case against me are going to use that as campaign propaganda against the guy. Because he wants my kids' report cards and my financial statements, and he has a private investigator on me. I don't care. I'm out of it. Do you understand how idiotic that is, politically speaking? So now you have Delegate Chris West that probably cost himself a state Senate seat that the Republicans had banked on. We need 5. We may not get any. And you have a Republican Party that cannot articulate what conservatism is and what they stand for. Meanwhile, you have a governor right now that is green-lighting draconian gun legislation that's trying to strip away the Second Amendment. After the disaster that was the O'Malley administration, what is going on? I'm telling you, okay, and people are going to get mad at me, and I'm going against the party. I'm behind the party. I'm just trying to figure out what the party stands for. And I don't think that they know. And I'll tell you something, okay? And this is not, again, it's not sour grapes. I'll get behind Chris West if he can put a platform on the table, an agenda, an idea, a strategy. And now, because of this goofy lawsuit, if the guy was a man and he just fought me straight up, he probably wins the primary and he sails into a general election. But now, you got the private investigator after me. You're looking at my kid's report card. I get the legality. There's a difference between legal and political. And now he's given his opposition just this petri dish of rhetoric. And a guy, I'm not being disrespectful, that's accomplished absolutely nothing in the state legislature over 4 years. By the way, what the hell are you doing down there? Oh, well, now it's $500 if you're talking on your cell phone, and we got rid of bump stocks, and we're going to try to change the official Maryland state song.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you rather have...
It's not a winning strategy either.
The governor...
It's not a winning strategy either. This point I made, I don't mean to be disrespectful. It's not a winning strategy.
Would you rather have him stick to the hard line and guarantee that he loses?
No. We're not talking about
because
making carry conceal permits more available. We're not talking about actively doing anything. Just put it on the back burner. Now is not the time to be pushing through draconian gun restrictions. You more than anybody, I would think, would appreciate this.
I do. I do get it.
He is greenlighting bills without even knowing what is in them. It starts out with the bump stock thing. I'm not a gun guy. I'm not. I don't own guns. I go to the range a couple times a year. I've been a member of the NRA. I support the Second Amendment.
You should stop saying that. You are a gun guy. You know why? Because you are also a Fifth Amendment guy. If you need to avail yourself of the right, you will do so. You don't need to own a gun to enjoy or to do any of the things in the Bill of Rights to enjoy those rights.
Correct. Thank you.
Good point.
Nobody knew what a bump stock was prior to Las Vegas. Was a bump stock used at the shooting in Maryland a couple weeks ago?
No. He had a pistol, in fact.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. But see, it's what Republicans constantly do. They capitulate. Because they believe there's going to be some ROI, return on investment, on the back end. And I just believe, and I mean this with all due respect, this is the slippery slope that the governor is traveling down right now. He believes that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but that capitulating to the opposition, that vote is going to be there for him down the road.
I think that, and I'm not in any way connected with the governor's camp, but I think they're looking at it like this. You've got a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of these people frequently, who feel as though the current Democrat Party has left them, okay? And then, of course, you have the conservatives and the Republicans in the state. And I just think that they feel, the governor's camp feels like if they can cleave off enough of those dissatisfied Democrats, that they can pull it out.
Got to energize the base first. And in a non-presidential year with a lot of frustration with the Republican base in Maryland, that's going to be difficult to do. That is Tyrone Keys at Hale Jr. I am Jimmy Mathis. After the break, Ted Nugent joins the program. It is 6:21. You're listening to the Jimmy Mathis Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.